Hello, 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 friends. I know I'm early. But I figured I'd just go ahead and get it done. Let me make sure I'm live in the right spot. Give me just a minute. Make sure all the things are good. So my iPad logged me out of Facebook, which is what I normally go live on. Here is my iPad, and then over here I use my phone to look at the comments, but my iPad logged me out of Facebook and I can't get back in, so I'm having to use my phone up here and my iPad over here. So as soon as I'm get it done, let me make don't want to hear my own voice. Hold on a second, let me get this comments pulled up here. So my iPad locked. I don't know how to get it. I'm going to turn the volume down. Start there. What are y'all up to today? Okay. If you're hopping on, say hi. If you're watching the replay, make sure to say replay. Hopefully this is going to work on that end. Okay. We're going to get going. We're going to do some Mod Podging today. I'm using a light pink, which is actually cotton candy from Deco Art. But I used so much of it that I got a big bottle of it mixed up at Home Depot. And I'm using Wildberry, and which is Deco Art, and Deco Art Periwinkle. I know it's backwards for you guys, but so cotton candy, periwinkle, and wildberry, and of course white. I already spray painted my pieces white, which y'all know how I feel about white. I have to spray paint, makes it crisp. First thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna move you around in just a second so you can see my hands, since my I have to go live from my phone. First thing we're gonna do is the Mod Podging part, so that it can dry first while we're painting. So that we can sand the edges. I'm going to go ahead and I think I have to keep it this way. Okay. I know the lighting's not the best either, but I feel like it's better to see my hands than it is my face. Okay, first things first. I am going to Mod Podge 2 pieces. You can do whatever you want. This is just, I'm kind of showing you since I laid it out here. I am going to Mod Podge this piece, the tag, and this heart because it's like the farthest point from it. So these 2 pieces are what I'm choosing to Mod Podge on mine. My original plan was to Mod Podge the 2 hearts that were in the center of the little scalloped edge, but I realized once I had my stuff spray painted white that there's just like a lot of white happening here, so I decided to go here and here. Just my choice. You guys do it however you would like. Move these pieces out of the way. So these are my 2 Mod Podge pieces. You're gonna need a pencil. Hi Tammy, hi Amber, hi Jody. You're gonna take your pieces. I'm going to use it face down to where the design's down. And the pieces, this is the back of the pieces, which is always the most charred part, is the back. So you're going to take your piece, draw around the edge with a pencil. I would try to get as close as you possibly can. It doesn't have to be perfect, just as close as you can. Oh, I forgot to draw the circle on the inside, which hopefully that's not going to be a problem. I'm trying to cut that out. I didn't even think about that. And then I'm using the straight edge of the heart on the edge of the paper. There's actually enough room here. You could do a 3rd piece if you wanted. You could do like top, middle, right heart or something of that sort. It's up to you. I'm just going to do 2 pieces. because I'm always worried about making mine too busy. Like sometimes you can add too much. So I'm just trying to keep it simple for the sake of the project. And I think I already did the side, but okay, so once you got your pieces traced, then you're going to cut it out, which is going to be kind of tricky on these little doily parts, but once we get it Mod Podged on and it dries, we're going to take our little piece of sandpaper and go around the edge. So it doesn't have to be exactly perfect because the sandpaper is going to file off any edges that are not completely flush. What are y'all up to today? We've been watching a ton of football over here while we were working. Been working in football. I'm going to come back to this little circle in the tag just because I'm not ready for that yet. If any of you have been with me for any amount of time, we've done a Mod Podge project before, but it has been quite some time. It was the 3 pumpkin trio, and we Mod Podged the center part of the pumpkin. So some of you might have a little experience with this, or you might have just done it on your own. But I always think it's a fun way to add cute designs. I really like doing it on the back of ornaments and then painting the front pieces, and then the background has a cute little scrap paper design. These little doilies are kind of tricky. But I just thought it'd be a cute way to escalate this a little bit. Make it a little bit more cute. Okay. I think that's as close as I'm getting. I want to make sure it fits good. When you trace it, make sure your piece is facing down on the paper, or it's going to be opposite. It's going to be mirrored. So you want to make sure that the char marks are up when you're tracing. Okay, let me get this out of the way. I think I'm going to have to stab a pencil in the center of this. I don't know if I think my scissors might be too big. Yeah. Hopefully y'all can see me. My words are in the way there, so I can't. There we go. I wish I could raise you up over my hands a little bit more, but my stand doesn't reach. Okay. It's a little wonky, but again, we'll get that worked out once we get it glued down. Okay. Now you're going to take your Mod Podge, which I labeled it so y'all would know which one it was, just in case, because I know we have some new people, so I don't want them to be completely lost. You're going to take your Mod Podge. I don't know if this bottle's open or not. I'm going to pour a little bit. If you need to pour yours out, you've got a little bottle with a little squirt on it, but I don't. So I'm just going to dump mine on my foil over here. Let me clean up this edge because Mod Podge likes to seal the lid back on, and then it's a bear to get unlocked. Okay, you can take a brush. I'm going to take a sponge just because I feel like it helps me to get it even. So you're going to just go smoothly. You want to try to get it as even as possible. And make sure this is your clean side with no score marks. And you're just going to get it as smooth and even as possible. It's kind of hard because you can't see it. It's clear. But I'm going to go back, do it one more time just to make sure that I got it evenly on there because you want it to stick good. Okay. Now we're going to try to line this up as best as we can. Now it's probably going to hang over. That's okay. We're going to take care of that with the sandpaper. So make sure you're like really smoothing it out. You want it to be, see how there's a little edge? That's okay. Okay, we're going to set this aside and let it dry while we paint. That way, if you try to sand the edges while the Mod Podge is wet, it's going to pull it up or rip it or tear it. It's just, you got to wait. So we're going to do that part first. Don't ask me how I know that. It's like I've done it before. Impatient. Okay, real even coats of the Mod Podge. This stuff is sticky. It's basically like glue. Okay, line up your... Make sure you push it down real good. Make sure my edges are, there we go. Okay, we're setting this aside. Now we're going to start painting. I painted my envelope white. So this part's white, and then the back part of the envelope is white, and then my little doily thingies, scallops. Guess that's what I'm calling them. Okay, this one, I'm going to do the XO, and then, I'm going to move this over so y'all, and then this center heart that goes here, I'm doing this periwinkle color. Uh-oh. My screen's froze. Hopefully I'm not frozen. Y'all, am I still going? Maybe it's my computer. I don't know. Am I still going? Can y'all let me know if I'm still good? Can't tell. My iPad's frozen, so I don't know if it's my iPad or I'm actually frozen. Hopefully not, because I'm already... Am I good? Okay, periwinkle on this part. Why is it? You're not frozen. Okay, thank you, Tammy. Nothing worse than going through all this and being frozen. Oh, that would be horrible. Have to cut it and start all over and do a whole nother video. Okay, dab it on my periwinkle. I know some of y'all like to use brushes, which is fine. I am just a master of the sponges. That's what I use all day. I just like it because it gives such a nice even coat, smooth coat, and then like there's not paint dripping down the sides. So I'm a master of the sponges. I just love them. And sometimes there's like different batches of wood that are more grainy than others, which you guys are going to see when you paint these, that this batch of wood is super grainy. It's been really annoying lately. Like the last 3 batches we've had have been super grainy. So sometimes you got to give her a second coat to fill in the little wood crevices. Okay. Now, the 2 that are inside of the little doilies, I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to do this one, the darker pink, along with the Valentine word, and then this one, I'm going to do the lighter pink, and the word hello, and that's cotton candy. This project's not going to take long at all. Okay. This is cotton candy. And these lighter colors, these also usually take 2 coats too. Just to make it look nice and smooth. Okay, set that aside. I am actually going to put some tape find it way easier to do words if it's on tape. And it keeps my hands cleaner. So bear with me. Okay. Nope, too much paint on my sponge. Dabbing off. Just makes it so much easier, because then you don't have to get paint all over your fingers. Piece stays put. And it's easy to go back over and do multiple coats. And when we paint during the day, we usually paint all of our pieces before we assemble. Like whatever our orders are for the day, we paint everything. And it's easy to pull the pieces up and just keep them on the tape and move them until we're ready to assemble. So I'm just so used to using tape. Okay, second coat on there. Second coat on here. Okay. I'm gonna move this out of the way. I might go to that light pink heart one more time after I do this one, but for right now. Okay, this one is the wild berry. Let me get a drink. Gotta get one more sponge. I feel like these colors go good with this paper. And then I needed something to stand out a little bit more on the paper because that goes like that. So I was going to use, I know, shocker, a teal because I love it so much, but trying to not do everything teal. So I chose periwinkle, which I like it too. I think it'll look just fine. And then I tried like a lighter blue with these, and I'm like, I just don't really love it. But the periwinkle I do. And then I tried like a darker blue. Just wasn't it either. Okay. Let that dry and come back for a second coat. This one right here, the wild berry has pretty good coverage. But I still do a second coat. I'm just used to doing 2 coats on everything. Don't mind my husband. Picked a heck of a time. Working away over there, trying to finish this barn. It's been such a slow process from when we added on. Because you don't have much time outside of working to just work on other things. So it's been a labor of love trying to finish the barn edition. Second. I mean, it's loud, but is there a lot, do you have a lot more or what? Are you sure? It's pretty loud. Well, Lacey came and asked. Okay. There's 2 coats on that. I'm going to do one more coat on this heart, and then we're going to check on our Mod Podge because everything else is painted. Okay, there's that, there's that. Those colors are pretty together. Okay, I'm going to pull this up and get it out of the way. And then this little ribbon here is white. I painted mine white at least. You guys can do yours however you would like. Let me move this tape out of the way. And then hopefully our things are dry enough to clean up a little here. Okay, if you have a little edge, fold it over. Take your little square sandpaper piece and just run it along the edge. And it will bend it down and end up breaking it off or sanding it down enough to where you can't tell. I'm doing this right now for the sake of the video, but I would definitely, if you're doing yours later on, I would definitely give your piece more time to dry. Just going to go along the edges, and it just gives it a more finished look. Trims up those little leftover. I don't know how I'm going to get into this circle piece. I might have to use a little, I don't know if I have a little, I'm going to try this little pokey tool here. I don't know if that's going to do the trick or not, but it definitely needs cleaned up. I'm going to try to go over it. I don't want to tear up my paper. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to push down. I'm just going to keep doing this until it ends up breaking the little pieces off. Let me try rolling this. Let me try that. Hopefully I don't tear my piece up. That's why I always do this first, so that I can be the example of tearing the stuff up so you guys don't have to. Okay, I'm almost there. I'm going to roll this up one more time. I need like a little X-Acto knife or something. I have one somewhere, but I don't know where it would even start to be. I do not like the way sandpaper feels. It just feels disgusting. Okay, I'm almost there. There we go. And I originally thought about doing this piece with the scrapbook paper, but boy, that would have been challenging. I do not recommend that unless you really want a good challenge. Okay. Now that I done rolled up my paper, if you like a really distressed look, you can distress with the glaze or stain over the edge of this paper too, if you don't want like a crisp, clean. I know some people really like distressed look. On this part, you're just gonna have to roll it up over it. Okay, let's see how this goes. And clean up my area here. And I got sandpaper debris everywhere. Okay. First, we're going to start with the envelope. There's this little ledge here, and that's where you're going to glue. I'm going to move it up so y'all can see a little better. Keep moving it closer to me. And I got black marks on it. You can always wipe out. I always keep wet wipes because my fingerprints get everywhere. Okay. So along this line here, this is where your envelope is going to get glued. I think I might have went a little too far up. Okay. Make sure you're lined up properly because you don't want your pieces your hearts not to glue in right. So make sure you're like right at that line. Wouldn't even be bad to be just a little bit lower. Okay, I'm going to give it a few minutes and hold it here because this glue has not been liking the cold weather. I've had some pieces that have been giving us trouble that we've had to like clamp down and be a little bit more patient with. Okay. I'm going to try to start with, actually, I don't know if I want to start with this piece because maybe I should start with these two. Okay, I'm going to have to clean up this edge because it doesn't want to fit in that doily. I have to thin that paper down more. Here we go. Now let's try it. Okay. I'm gonna glue these two down together probably first. I'm just gonna hold them together. And you want to make sure you really try to stay on your lines because it's going to affect all the other hearts if you don't. So do your best to keep them all lined up. I'm going to try to make sure this one gets in there. Okay. I'm going to do this one next because you want to try to make sure they all fit before your glue dries. That way, if you need to, you know, shift them just a tad, you can still do that. And this top little doily hangs over, so you're not going to need to glue all of it. It's really, you're only gluing this left side and this bottom side. Little tiny dot in the middle. Okay. My fingerprints are on everything, and I'm gonna keep from making a mess everywhere, but I am making a mess. If you guys can only imagine how many wet wipes I go through in a day. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and glue this one in. And then I'm going to hold it down for a minute. Make sure all pieces are down good. Okay, I'm going to put this under here for a little support while I push down on these to glue them. Because it is out farther because you glued it onto this piece. So I'm going to glue this Valentine on. And then we're going to go back and do all our detail work. See what I mean? How you have to like push down on it and it's not flat because you glued it onto this piece. So this is nice for a little support. I'm not really thrilled with this circle piece here. I need to find my X-Acto knife. Once I glue it down for you guys, I'm not going to be able to go back. But there's also this little white bow that goes over top of it, so you may not even be able to see it. And if you want to do a whole other color scheme that doesn't involve pink, you don't have to use the scrapbook paper. I just thought it was a fun little extra. So this goes like that. This goes like that. Yeah, you don't even, with the bow there, you don't even barely see the circle. Okay, I'm gonna work on gluing the details first, and then I'll glue the whole tag. And then we're gonna go back and do our details, or highlights, and all the pieces that make it come alive again. Okay, so, and then on this XO, you definitely want to angle it. So I have it angled on there, not straight across, because that's what's going to leave room for your bow. And this tag will hang off just a smidge. Doing mine in purple instead of periwinkle. I love that. It would be cute with like a darker purple too. Really, I mean, any shade of purple is going to go cute with pinks. Okay, of course I had a fingerprint on there. Okay, now all our pieces on there, I'm going to go back and glue my tag on. Now see how this is like white on white, like that? That's, I'm going to go back and add some color detail here just to make sure it's really separated from the white. You could also do like a dark pink. Take this pink and put it around here and do the opposite here. Light pink, dark pink. Honestly, I kind of wish I would have done that. Just to add it more character. But it's up to you. You can do whatever you want. But I do like the paper, like, opposite sides. So, like, when I originally was going to do it, I was going to do these two hearts with the paper. You have to make sure that you have some side and side just to make it feel even. Okay, we're going to do our details, and then we will put our string on. And you can hang this inside. If you like a smaller door hanger, it could work as a door hanger. You could, even if you don't want to hang it, you could just prop it up. Okay, I need a good brush, good detailing brush. Okay, I'm going to use this puppy here. See how crisp that thing is? That's what we need, is a real crisp brush, because these fine details, you need some. I don't know why my hands are so shaky today. I usually have like a pretty steady hand, but it's been kind of shaky today. I'm not sure what that's about. Okay, so here's some details on that one. I think I'm going to put a little notch on that too. I'm going to go back on the other little doily and do light pink. And then I'm going to use, after this, a black paint marker just to bring more detail to my actual envelope. And I'm going to do my little on that side. I'm trying to think what I should do. I think I should use white on this part. Just using a white paint marker. I love Posca pens. Those are my favorite. The little doily on there. I'm going to put, actually, little highlights on the XO. And then I'm going to take my thinner black marker, if I can find it. There it is. And this is where I'm going to do details on my envelope. Which, this is important to not overthink it. Because when you make lines like this, you just have to go with it. If you start overthinking it, then you start messing up. So, don't be scared. I think I'm going to do a couple dots. Just needs a couple little character. I don't know if I should go down this way or not. Let me take a look. Do I dare? Too late now. Let's do it kind of far from. Okay. Now, here's this. I'm going to put my string on it in a minute. I know my lighting is absolutely horrible. I need to get a ring light. Let me put my string on it and then I'll show you the finished. I told you the scrapbook paper was not that hard. Just, again, I would give yourself more time to let it dry if you're able. Put my string on. It should only take one tie knot because the holes are pretty small. You want to make sure you put your knots on the front. That way it lays flat on whatever you hang it on. I always cut, if there's too long, I'll cut the ends off. Okay, there it is. I'm going to pull this up so I can see y'all. And then hopefully my light's better. And then you can see it. There we go. There we go. I'm going to take pictures of this tomorrow and I'll share finished photos, like always, in the group. If you end up painting this different colors or doing something different, please share because it gives everybody else so much more inspiration because sometimes people have to see it to know if they want to do it or not. So please share. If you go back and you're watching this or looking for the video after a month, it is Facebook deletes them. So this will be over on YouTube if it's no longer in the group. And that is it, y'all. If you have any questions or you have any troubles along the way, you can always send me a message. And I will see you all next month. Have a good night.